Alqubit, IT as an expression of art.
Hello world. Again, I'm not going away. I want to share my anamorphic again that I'm keeping testing, but the latency cannot be resolved. I want to share today the interesting process that I am using during the inception of every project. I'm calling it anchoring. Once you have shared, for example, you have to do the analysis, requirements, gathering everything, understanding the budget, all this stuff. But I will do touch use cases for few backup solutions. So I don't have to choose the budget. I don't have to choose the technology. And I am starting directly with quite easygoing anchoring. What is consistency? What is anchoring active? It is the process in which you start putting the anchor on the ground and begin to develop the territory in which you operate. All my professional life, I have used a technology that I have never used before, and this comes from, I think, for me it's easy to do it because I have always, all my life, have done it that way. I can start from a technology that I don't know, but I have the basis of IT, electronics, networking, security, system integration, system implementation, validation, and everything, stack it up. I can start with the good level of product documentation, specs, all the implementation guide, support matrix and everything, and build up the vision in three-dimensional vision of either I will going to use this product or not. And this process is in parallel with I have done end-to-end projects. So this process is in parallel with actual building the bill of material. Because once you have chosen I haven't called the vendor, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Please give me everything and say me how many millions we will charge me. That has not been my providing value. My providing value is research development of my values, validating certain solution, and once it is congruent with functionality, robustness, and budget, and easy to relate to the vendor, you are starting with I have been partnering for more than 20 years with different distributors, and they have provided me always excellent help. In conjunction, I have never resold or somehow charged my clients with a percentage of what I will be implementing to the client. I have always said, what you think to provide to me, give it directly to my client as a benefit of discount. I'm providing my service, I'm not selling products. And this has been very successful. And this is the process where you start from the ground, basically, from the ground up. You need full access of as much documentation as you can from the vendor, from all the product guide, and you develop the guidance, and it is a process of research and develop, test, research, develop, test. And for me, it's like when you build an electronic system. It is you don't know all the specs of all circuits in your head. When you need, you go to see the specs, and you integrate based in tolerance specific how it can be integrated in one singular system, and you go forward in that way. This is the only way. And I have chosen, now I will share my PC. Where am I? I have downloaded already the different softwares. I have this. This is the unit that I will use for that project. I have downloaded Backup Exec, the last version. I have downloaded. They've been sold on different Cohesity, NetBackup. I have downloaded version 11. Now it's version I'm participating from more than 10 years for NetBackup to the beta program. So from time to time, I'm downloading, testing. With Veritas, it has been always really excellent documentation. And I have always been at one-to-one at how I can this is the trial that I have downloaded yesterday. You can download the version 11, the version I have downloaded. I will not going further than 10.5, but I will install the 11. When you start with something that you don't know, the best practice is to start learning the versioning in detail. Deep dive. How it has been changing during the last years, how the functionality has been improved or changed or eliminated. You need to know the territory in which you will move. Everything of this can be extracted out of the documentation. Veritas has always had an excellent documentation, beyond excellent. Even Symantec, but was kind of you get lost inside their documentation, but was quite good with and you choose basically, let's do the hypothesis NetBackup. How we put my, you choose NetBackup. Let's see if I demo effect. This is NetBackup. The versioning is here, and you have to do this process of research and development that I'm calling. You need to research everything regarding this product. Downloading everything that you can. There are a lot of excellent documentation with. In this case, it was Veritas. Now it's Arctera. But troubleshooting, optimization, NAS integration, Hyper-V administrative guide, command line, status codes, web user interface, integration with SQL, and how you best practice to backup SQL, everything. Basically, you get lost of too much information, but it is unavoidable. This is the process how you need to do, not certification BS. This is day by day research and development. You download the software. We begin with few tests, easygoing, and this how I start every inception of every project since I began to work with information technology. This is the way. I have chosen the StoreOnce as a destination. This is now showing there is the same thing with StoreOnce as a destination protection storage that I will not if it is the client environment, I will optimize budget, performance, security, system impact of heavily lifting, heavy process of backup. With NetBackup, Backup Exec, and with other softwares, those software protection software, the duplication, even data domain was essential for that. OpenStorage Technology, OST, that was built at the time by Veritas as a standard way to have access and manage the storage systems. StoreOnce virtual appliance. I will use the virtual appliance. It is based now on Rocky Linux as an operating system. Years ago, probably was based on Red Hat. I don't remember, but the last one, the version 5.1, is based on Rocky Linux. But this is transparent. You don't have to deal with the Linux by itself. It exposes interface, it exposes the best practices for optimization, configuration, and eventually you can go inside the Linux if you can and do the TCP dump. And with let me open the other page. This is the same path. Anchoring StoreOnce Gen 5 support matrix. You have to saturate your mind with fresh, consistent, important documentation from multiple points of view. At least for me, this is the only way in which my mind opens and I can develop the system without thinking. I reach to the point when you develop some kind of a language, how you don't think about the language, you just understand it and you can express yourself. The same thing with a certain level of system. I need to do this deep dive saturation of the information until I can see in my mind without any effort how these systems behaves and how I can optimize. It's not that you pay attention during the meeting in 5 minutes during the stand-ups. No, guys. This is not how the system can be designed and improved. And all this process is with the starting of your methodology of how you build your documentation. I will start with my fortunately already produced the basis of a lot of systems that I will change, adapt without getting crazy. And I will structure the environment, very basic, simple environment. And I will, in consistent way, start with the configuration, how I was talking about the other day. You can see here that inside this documentation of StoreOnce, there is already mentioning of this is Catalyst support. Catalyst is the protocol that it uses to boost the performance as a OST target device. In data domain was called Boost. This is essential. It is the support needs to be installed. It's some kind of driver and integrated with the backup software. Needs to be seen, needs to be developed on purpose. And you start the implementation and the development at the best performance and best this boost, or in this case catalyst. This is what is the interaction between the client part of the software of the backup with the destination storage that is optimized what has been changed and how to transfer it through the network if it needed to be transferred, how it is already present on the storage, and has it been with changes, the duplication. It is very complex, but this is those systems optimized in this way. And this is essential for the backup protection that you need to develop. It is not destination share or NAS or whatever. It is complex system that is built on multiple parts, each and every one with its fundamental part inside the process of the optimization. And you need to construct it piece by piece as a puzzle. And that you need to do the anchoring, you do the draft of the puzzle, you understand what it looks like. You have at least the original picture, what it needs to look like. And you start with your cycles of research and development inside the documentation. And if it is actual project that you can validate this system, you integrate, invest in this system originally. If it is very extensive, you don't throw all your money by the end system. You need portion of this system as a pilot to validate it. Actually, am I obtaining actual result of what the vendors are selling me and doing their marketing and everything? At the time, what was stated by StoreOnce that it is deduplicating 20x for data domain was almost true for certain things. StoreOnce was 10x. I will see the version. I haven't been implemented in for the last couple of versions. I will see the version 5. But data domain and StoreOnce are acting on a file system basis. If you have the same files and stream them and backup them into the native OST file system, and it is deduplicated, this is the best way. No virtual library, not it is the virtual libraries are the most inefficient. Or share, network share. All those files, if they are getting copied through different access, through different ways of access and backend file system configuration, those files will be seen as a completely different files. It is unrelated, and you cannot obtain absolute super improvement just by whatever source file is. You can act only by configuration. In this case, with at the time with what was the biggest challenge with data domain, that virtual library was taking the entire was assigning the entire space through virtual library. Instead, the file system and configured with Boost inside the NetBackup, not as a virtual library, but as a OST destination target, is super efficient. It is so efficient that it's scary how efficient it is. 10x, 20x, 100x. It is cannot be even do the comparison. And there are physical versions. They have killed the version 5, 7 something probably. On this, on the version 5. Before there was 56 something. And there is a possibility of StoreOnce, has always been, now with 60 gig and 32 bit. Under VMware, it supports Hyper-V and VMware as a virtual appliance. And only inside VMware you can install a fiber channel and actually do the streaming for the library only. In library, you can have 32 gig, whatever you want. At the time, maximum speed was 150 megabytes, whatever. You need really research and develop on that. It's not 32 gig, you have all the bandwidth. You need to see the limit of the technological implementation. The libraries are never with the throughput that are related to the connectivity network technology. The libraries have their intrinsic internal streaming capacity. And this is how you develop the thing. I wanted to share, just I hope to not getting lost. I'm reaching access to, that's why I have always worked with HPE, because it is without subscriptions, you can access actually to the technical documentation. At least now they have opened it again, it seems, because they have done it at a certain point that wasn't possible. And you need to, not only this little thing, you need to expand the space. I have, since 2000 or what year was, now it's the, which version is 108th edition. Sun Design is an excellent guide of how to integrate all the storage area systems, all the those storage related and correlated technologies with you see here the routers, storage area network routers and switches. B series is for the what was not now is Broadcom, but it was the other. I have it here. I just forget. This C stands for Cisco. Brocade system switch. Brocade was another company that was excellent as a Sun, and that got acquired and had to close basically. And you need to do this process of research. I have finally found possibility to download something of this Broadcom site. I downloaded a couple of softwares, and the documentation, what the Broadcom is doing usually is to integrate without changing completely at the standpoint of the marketing and how it is built up the offer. But the fundamental part of the documentation, how was the product before, they don't reinvent the wheel. You can find everything about semantic. I have built up for 15 years everything based on semantic. Email security, the part of message gateway, I have implemented it for 15 years. And it is always still the same. If you download the last version, it is basically the same how it has been forever. The same is for if I have to go to switches, Brocade is the same. If you have to download, yesterday I downloaded the guide of the Fabric OS of the Brocade. It is still with the same consistency, the same way how it was. I think that Brocade documentation was so well done that they have adopted it as a model, because I have seen other documentation has reached this level of the Brocade documentation, how it was at the time. And you need to search, going around and research for every product. It pushed me every time outside of the website. But you go and look at the last versions, the last specs. I can use it for 60 or 90 days limited, but I have a lot of free 1 terabyte licenses that can go on for 3 years with not with all super boosted capabilities, without the catalyst. I think they don't have the catalyst enabled. But for the big part, Broadcom, I downloaded even again something for the last vCenter that was possible to download. And everything is present. The old product haven't changed from today for tomorrow, that they are not the same products. They are the same product with the development, and usually absolutely consistent with how they have been built. And if you had a history with certain technology, it is not super changed. It has changed the model of the licensing and everything, price tags, but it hasn't changed the product by itself. And this way of starting the business, the product, the project, you need to find the anchoring and start to build up access to all vendors' support and documentation sites. This is absolutely mandatory. Without this, You cannot do absolutely. It is like building electronic circuit without the specs and without lab tools. You need those. It is impossible to do. The same as you need the environment when you test and validate. It is impossible to do it without. And that's why I have invested like crazy for 20 years. And that's why I have been on super advantage for my clients and even for the corporate, because using my methodology, my own data center that I have, the remains here, 5-6 enterprise servers. And this is the way. This is the actual way of how you build systems. And I will develop and expand this. I will start with only, I will limit the scope at the beginning. Only one product. The destination will be for sure this. Let me find. I'm. HP. This is how I'm doing. I'm in consistent way. I'm downloading software. This is, I have done basically next, but you can do better, even better. And you have all the documentation available. And you start to research and develop your knowledge, your comprehension, and everything related to this technology. You can never do this with certification. Have you done the certification and you just got so bored from the questions, and it is not even related to technology. It is only pay me and I will state that you have done. That's why it's certification. Whatever certification is for someone that has never had anything to do with technology. It is first grade. It is except Cisco that you are doing that is hard work. For the rest, in money burning. But you develop and only through studying the documentation more and more. It is not 2 hours to develop the high level design. You need to do this work. Even if you have done for 20 years before, you need to do the same work with the last versions, with the last firmwares, to refresh where the best practice, how the commands are. I don't remember commands and everything, because I can search it instant on Google, or you love to call it now AI, do it with whatever you want, but this is how it's done. You see the correlation here, OST for NetBackup. You need to have this plugin for Backup Exec, for other software as well, and you develop. And with the time, it is exactly as the comprehension is exactly as a new language. And this is the process. It is an unavoidable process. This is how the technology needs to be studied. And this is the way how you build whatever project you need to build. You do this This is the essential part. And you can, having done it before for 20 years, it is needed to do it fresh one with the last version, with the, I personally, if I don't touch something for 3 months, I don't remember the details. Forget about. This is why you cannot improve, because without the critical analysis that is done only with this process, critical analysis of the system and now the functionalities is built and sustained only during this process. After that is lost. During this process of critical analysis and developing, research and development of the perimeter of the knowledge and specs and destination solution. And this is regarding everything with minimum configuration, maximum configuration, optimization. It is everything there. Everything, absolutely everything. How you need to build the system, how you need to improve it, how it is correlated. And the documentation of the vendors, for the most of them, are really excellent. You can develop complete system, knowledge, validate the system by yourself at any level by studying, correlating all the guides, and it rises the sun, you see the entire picture. You have done the puzzle. As a virtual option or in the cloud, that is the same. Forget about the performance, but it's done in that way. I wanted to access to the support. Let me see. You can download all the guidance from here. Everything correlated with this product. Drivers and storage software, if it requires subscription and licensing, nothing to be done. You need. But this is how the actual quality project is done and developed. Related to VSA, and you need to download and read all the and do the research. It's not let me do it in 5 minutes. It is a lot of work. Nothing can be done about that. And it is, if you implement the version that it before was 5660, now it looks like they have killed this. User guide, software versions, you need to download all the versions, the respect. Management operation guide. Let me see if it. They're here. And you need to learn Yesterday I have done this work, and I have all the guidance. Deployment guide. It's not even too big, but you need to go correlate, integrate in your mind, integrate into your documentation, and top-down, bottom-up implementation of the how the system will be done. Or you call your vendors that is offering whatever it's offering. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Do your daily stand-ups, be happy, and go forward for 20 years if you want. If you want to learn technology and how you need to implement technology thinking with your head, this is done in that way. By learning, research, and develop. And this is the process. This is the process. So I will do it. I have dedicated here. I have implemented already last year. Let me see where it is. I have implemented Hyper-V for one thing that I have done for HPE. And you see my naming convention of the virtual machine, physical machine. It is coherent everywhere. And I've had Red Hat and 2 domain controller. The domain controller only need to rearm the license. I suppose they are absolutely the Active Directory is up and running. And now we install the destination target of StoreOnce. The machines that will be the backup, actual backup with the version, correlated versions of NetBackup or Backup Exec or Veeam. It will not be very quick project of use cases. It will require its time, but this is how you do. I want to do. StoreOnce doesn't change. I don't have so much. I have 2-3 terabytes, but I don't have so much space to do an endless. I have enclosure with disk and everything, but it is pointless to do 1 terabyte on that consumes 500 watts against a virtual machine that will be easy going here at 3 those hard disks. This is RAID 5 and they are SAS 12 of around 1 terabyte and something. The others are M2, and I have this one that I'm using only for at 7 gigabyte per second. This is my super NVMe. I will not using it for any except my virtual video live production. And now we use it here. And those are a couple of SAN hard disk. I will need to do it inside this system without anything excessive. It is only to show off my methodology that I can do it. It is not, repeat, it is not the end result that what you will be doing during a live project with every process, with optimization at any level, and dimensioning the systems. It is only to show I have done it. And this will be I have I haven't opened Hyper-V like for century. And those are all down. I will turn them on. I will resume whatever. You see, my physical host, my virtual host, in those Red Hat, I will not use them. They're for specific. I will use another thing. And I will do live backup. And the maximum space that I could possibly use is around 1 terabyte. And for my little scope of my project will be more than enough just to show how it's done. And it will be done. The basic implementation of NetBackup Backup Exec initially with integration of StoreOnce and how it's streaming the backup process and how it optimizes. I don't have physical machines. I have I'm using only this. I have actually physical, but I will not implement it to going crazy and consume electricity. The outside the scope of actually to see how this project will be done. I have done my first backup project was with General Networking Italia. I have started there with networking, exchange, security, and networking. Even at the beginning with cables, structural cables. And with exchange, I have done it all my professional life, basically. Integrating, I have started before Office 365. There was Macromedia or Macromedia, I think. When I was first hosted my own exchange, because I wanted to be completely independent. Initially, I was completely integrated with my business partner that fortunately for this part I moved. Macromedia was hosted exchange basically with developed interfaces. What now is Office 365, later on Microsoft 365. This was since 2011 hosted exchange. Since there I was implemented those systems. 13 years of exchange, hybrid exchange, and everything. And I will not install an exchange to do. Years ago as a test I have done, but I will keep it simple. I need only to reach this scope, that is the backup software integrated with the target protection, deduplication storage. Years ago, data domain was possible to download for 500 gigs free version. Now it is, even though the last time that I have checked it was almost a year ago. There was a link online, but it wasn't possible to download it anyway. And it was one-to-one. This is how I optimized the system. At the time for Infosys, inside my data center, I have installed the virtual edition of Data Domain, and I was able to do with NetBackup at 30-60 degree the entire process of optimization, and I have applied it for the data center in Singapore. You need just to understand when you need to go, how you need to go, what are the every software has specific bugs, inefficiencies that are not stated by the vendor. You need to discover them, to find workarounds, fine tune, and this is how it's done, the IT as an industry. I'll do this that I have announced exactly 1 year ago, but with a lot of things, a lot of struggles and overcoming endless things, I have postponed it, and haven't had to allocate the necessary energy to do it. And now I will complete this. And this is an excellent exercise to keep you with actual software, how it evolves, because I have done it all my life, those things. And the documentation of NetBackup is basically the old one of 10 years ago, with the improvements, with the new stuff, with new functionalities, but it is like a language. When even if you forget it, if you are put inside under this language, you immediately regain everything. It is there. It needs only a little refresh. And those systems I have done. Backup Exec I have done from the very beginning. More than NetBackup, because NetBackup costs 10 times more. It is enterprise, yes, but it is much more complicated, much more, requires much more attention, cure, and it is for structured environment at a much higher level. At the time for Infosys, only the license was 1,300,000 for 5,000 terabytes. Now I have no idea how it costs. And this is what I will do in the next 1, 2, 3 months. If I can do it earlier, good for me. I will have my use cases ready. But this is how I will do from time to time. I will share where am I, and I will start because I tend to expand too much on because I have a lot of interest and I'm passionate about technology. I will need immediately we start with all the versions that it's overwhelming. I will start with one. StoreOnce will be always the same, but the versioning and the vendors of the backup solution will change. And I will do this basically one machine, one virtual machine. With the software, I can implement it in physical, but I don't have here now 10 gigs. It will require investment that I will do with pleasure, but I'm not in position now to do this. I have done it all my life. Permit me to re-enter into the technology and into the industry. I will do other 250,000 100,000 investment in another data center. I have no idea no issues with investment on improving the business, the technology, the knowledge, the development. I have done it with both hands all my life. And this is the methodology of development, the approach, the initial approach. It is step by step, day by day, research and development. StoreOnce, Hyper-V, Cohesity NetBackup, Arctera Backup Exec. Those will be the first. If I have desire and space, mental, physical, and whatever, I will do Vim as a third one. And after that, enough. It's enough. With process Inception is this one. Actually, anchoring, requirement gathering, the starting of the structure of the documentation, consistent, needs to be at this level already consistent. You have very easy going life after that, because the structure, initial structure and quality is essential. Once you start with this level of coherence and quality, after that it is you build up the muscles, and it is completely, I have no idea what happens here. It is completely easygoing process. Requirements, research, validated design, implementation and delivery, documentation, methodology, essentials that I have explained, and this is my way of doing. And this is shortly how it will be done. I have already started it. It's how long it is. I have no idea how long I am connected already. I will stop here. Let's finish with the fun stuff as always. Anamorphic. Sorry. You see here the flares. Those are the flares. And I have fine-tuned it for this image. Now I'm using two video I/O device inside DaVinci, because it is in real time. You need to find your way to produce this, and it is related with the resolution, how the capturing mode is configured, and everything needs to match in order to function and to obtain the output. It is a fine-tuned process. It is not click here, there, and it works. And separating the two video I/O devices, I obtained immediate signal as an output. I was with Intensity Pro input and output. It is completely feasible, but I wasn't. It appears that the capture device is not configured properly. In order to, you need to work on this, but it is resolved live, and it has this. I have 50 meters that are going into the capture imp. Elaboration, other 15 meters that are coming here inside extreme, the first port. And this produce, unfortunately, this delay of video computational power that the server, it's absolutely nothing. This server, I am even using my NVIDIA P4000 Quadro that with my server, hard disk, backbone and everything, it is working completely. It is more than enough for my video production. Let me open a couple of consoles. You can see my server is absolutely zero. I have 2 processors that are with 8 cores, I think, physical, plus the hyperthread. So it is 16 physical cores, and it works like a charm. From time to time, the physical cores you see that are charged, but the GPU is used at 36% as a copy. No encoding, no decoding. Yesterday I was encoding H265 10 gigs 422, and it was only at 78%. So there is a margin. I am not, even though it is, I paid it in 218, if I'm not wrong, 50 euros, and I'm still using it. I've got another one, P4, that is enterprise only for the computational, and it helps by at least other 30%. But I had to add slots for my M2 hard drives, so I needed to, I don't have a limit, physical limit. I don't reach ceiling of performance, so I can for now I can, if I need, I can add the second GPU. And you can see I was explaining without probably showing you. You can see my GPU with this process of elaborating everything. I having basically the entire live production, music, background music, everything here that is open, DaVinci and whatever other stuff is operating. It is absolutely inside the, and I have no idea if I have shown you before. This is what is done. This is the 2 IO video that I was talking about, video devices, and this, you see, you have at least almost 300 milliseconds delay. If someone has any solution on that, any idea, please write down into the comments. I can solve it in real time only if I have other anamorphic to do my live production completely in anamorphic. I would like to get this is the 75. I would like to get the 100. At least a couple of anamorphic in order to all my angles, camera angles are done with anamorphic. I will put it inside how can be done as an idea. From there, from the cameras, you end up into the little guy here. Atem Mini Pro. And the output of Atem Mini Pro, how I will do it. The output from Atem Mini Pro inside the capture card, inside the DaVinci Resolve, and I'm switching from here all the scenes from the little guy Pro, and the super source and everything else, and the end result from DaVinci Resolve is ending into the second switch with which you are doing the live production. You can inject the necessary delay feasibly. The audio delay that is in this way, it will synchronize the output of the audio. This is what I have in mind as a feasible way to do the live production with the anamorphic discrete, but you need consistency. All the lengths that needs to be with the same anamorphic percentage. This is Venus Surrey Venus 75 millimeters 1.6. The 130 or 150 was it has 1.8. It wouldn't be possible to do it in that solution that I have in mind, because you need the discrete. The discrete factor is different. But with 1.6, if you have all the lengths at 1.6, you will land at the first level of switch where you inject the signal, only one signal, as the switching mode inside DaVinci Resolve, with only one DaVinci Resolve, with capturing an output, and you can do live production in this way. Absolutely feasible, with the risk that if something happens, you basically out. But it is super stable. I'm doing it. I've been on for the last 3 hours. I haven't had any issue, no computational issues, any sort. If you start to do here to want to color grade in real time, the delays, that's way I will need all other level of NVIDIA. At least a 4000, for 600, 6000, because I don't want to consume a lot of energy. But otherwise, the last versions 50, 60, 50, 80, and so on, whatever version it might be. But you need to, in that way, you would need, as a server, it has the computational power. As an NVIDIA GPU, this is the very basic that I am using at my best to do my delivery of the videos and upscaling for YouTube. But this is excellent solution. And I could develop it in that way, with at least 2 camera angles, with at least 2 camera. It will be for sure. I'm beginning to like only from 75 up as lenses for like this is 75 large. No, it is large. You divide basically 75 by 1.6. It is 46 large and 75 vertical. That's why it has those proportions. And you can do it. The other will be, for example, 100. And it will be around 70 millimeters, hypothetically as horizontal, but it will be much more squeezed here. I will be something like that. And in this way, it's feasible. Okay, let's end here. I hope it was useful. I will keep going, and we will see soon, very soon again. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Alqubit, IT as an expression of art.
I'm not ready. No, I will need to repeat it.
Alqubit.
You see
IT
that
as an expression.
if you don't have ready the
Alqubit, IT
the VLC player
as an
into the
expression
front
of
end
art.
and you forget, you're done. You do some really bad figure. Let's see if it goes now. 100. No, it doesn't work.
Alqubit, IT as
This is the issue with VLC, that you need to configure it, don't touch anything. I cannot do the outro. I will stop here in that way with the music. And now we will see soon again. Thank you very much. Anamorphic, best of the best. Let's keep in touch and we will see soon.
Alqubit, IT as an expression of art.